Jorge. I got to get through this before this clay mask crumbles off my face because, sweet Marie, oh hey, hi, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, fully untucked for this week's episode of Untucked. So let's get to it. First off, I fell asleep during this Untucked. I'm just going to say this out loud and proud. As much as I have issues with the Vixen and her raison d'etre for being the bear and her reaction to poking, because I think we all have a reaction to poking, I'm just going to say. What a boring Untucked without her in the room complaining and bitching and reacting to everyone. I'm so serious. I mean, I know she wanted the full experience, but I feel like I didn't have the full experience of season 10 without her there causing drama or something. Because quite frankly, you know, whether you agree with her or not, she's good TV. And I have to say, nothing proved it more than this week. To prove my point, the four safe girls, Asia, Blair, Cameron, and Aquaria, had nothing to talk about. They had to make stuff up. I'm so serious. It started with who was fully tucked. Well, you know, I have to say, I'm admitting this here. We're going to share because I'm drinking Jack. And it's not just any Jack. It's honey Jack because I wasn't feeling sweet enough this week. I never tuck. I have never tucked. I don't know how to tuck. It sounds painful. But as a big girl and a whore for a long peplum, who needs to tuck? I am just saying. That said, I was a little surprised Cameron wasn't tucked because her transformation, I just need to see this because I don't think I've said this at all. Her transition from boy to girl is remarkable. She's got the best hip pads and her face just beats right down, and she seems to be much more animated when she's in drag. Maybe it's because her face is drawn on and you can see it move more. I don't know, but seriously, she's a hoot and a half. I also was very surprised to hear that she'd slept with women after she'd been sleeping with men. I certainly wasn't surprised to hear that Blair was a Gold Star gay, which for those of you who don't know, Gold Star gay, never slept with a woman, ever. I mean, I've slept with women myself, I mean, but as a gay, I'm not only Gold Star, I feel hermetically sealed. I mean, it's really, I don't even know why I say I'm gay anymore because it's certainly, I'm not living any life that proves otherwise. You know, the reason that I'm doing these videos is because I don't have a boyfriend, plants, or cats. Seriously. I was also a little surprised to hear that not only had Asia slept with women, but she has done since having slept with men, and yet she didn't seem to identify as bisexual, and good for her. I think that it's okay to have sex with whoever you want. Maybe you've had sex once or twice, you got stranded on a desert island with someone of a sex you don't prefer normally, but sooner or later, I am just saying, as long as it's warm, I mean, even soft fruit, throw it in the microwave, I'm just saying. Then Cameron let us know not only has she mostly just slept with men, she prefers men of color, and I just want to say, I like a little color in my cup too. I'm not saying I have a preference, because this is the thing that bothers me. You know, we saw this with Kim Chi. She's had to live with that. No facts, femmes, or Asians. There's a lot of people out there that prefer only black men. I just want to say, everyone has an exception to what they call their rule. I have issues with short people because I'm a beast. I'm a moose. I seem to loom over everyone. And when you're this size, people think you're a top, and I just want to point out, I'm lazy and hard to flip. That's why I'm a bottom. That said, there's always an exception to the rule. There's always some little short person who catches my eye, or I don't know, a ginger that doesn't seem to be ready to poison a well. There's a lot of options and a lot of exceptions. So I think that it's great that Cameron said that she prefers brown and black men, but she didn't seem to be married to it specifically. Grasping at desperate conversational straws, the girls then started to postulate who do they think was going to go home, should go home, or maybe is ready to go home. Blair said the Vixen, and rightly so for Blair. I mean, Blair is one of those girls that turns the look out. She seems to make it work even if it's not the best in the world. it's not the worst, and I think that she wasn't wrong in picking the Vixen. Just as long as no one tells the Vixen, that's what Blair's dead, seriously. Aquaria picked Monet, and again, here's another good, solid queen, good looks, good makeup, good hair. She's either safe or in the top level. So for Aquaria to pick Monet, I understand that too, because she's looking at the finished product. Now also this is interesting because Aquaria and Monet work in New York. So they're often out and about, and I'm sure there might be a little rivalry in the back of Aquaria's mind that even though she can perform, and you look her up on YouTube, she got some great performances, but she doesn't seem to wow an audience the way Monet does on stage, but Aquaria certainly wows an audience off stage. So I hope that she's able to take that with her. It's hard to have jealousy when you're in a room full of people that are all more or less doing what you do, even though they do it differently. Seriously. I was a little surprised to hear Cameron pick Monique as her choice to go home, only because I think that Monique has been rocking it. Has she been rocking it to the best of her abilities? Well, yes, but could she do more? I think so. Plus, she's been staying out of the bottom. You heard me. Maybe Cameron picked Monique because she sees her as already at her top, and that's not going to take her to the end, so why leave her around? I don't know. Cameron doesn't return my calls. Just saying. Asia picked Mayhem, and again, here's another queen. I think between her and Monet, they were rightly in the bottom this week, and Asia's one of those queens that really just pulls it together. Did you see her quick army drag? She had the same amount of time as everyone else, and she put that look together. That was a good look, just saying. But seriously, I don't think any of the queens picked anybody who doesn't deserve a bit of a critique, and maybe that suggestion that they're on the bubble, they're maybe the next to go. So good choices, but that said, there's really very few girls short of Mayhem and possibly Monet that should be going home at this point, seriously. And then that seemed to be the end of the conversation. Then they started calling for the girls to come back. See, this is where I feel that the Vixen, having the full RuPaul Drag Race experience, hurt all of us a little bit. Because then, when the girls did come back in the room, I don't even remember her being there. When's the last time you watched Untucked and didn't see, think, hear, or notice the Vixen? I can't even remember where she was sitting. I don't know what happened. Maybe she stood out in the hallway. It may have boiled down to her not getting the full reaction to her drag. Now, I said in my review that I wasn't a big fan of her outfit. It wasn't ugly. She looked great. It was all right. But I had issues with just the finished product. And I'm glad Blair brought it up too. Because there's always that thing, Coco Chanel says take something off before you leave. You know, look in a mirror. Just have one final look before you go. And there's something about the Vixen that just seems to be okay. Good enough. She hasn't really pushed it. I feel Monique pushes it. Asia certainly pushes it. Aquaria, Cracker, they're all pushing it. So in a room full of pushers, being okay is really not good enough. And maybe getting her full RuPaul's Drag Race experience, i.e. a critique, where she didn't win, meant that she was a little cowed, or maybe the bear hibernated. I don't know what happened, but she just seemed to disappear. Of course, the big drama in the Untucked Lounge was poor Monet. Now, here's the thing with Monet. She's so talented and she's so in the moment. Like, her best moments are when she's just doing stuff. Some people aren't built for competition. Some people don't plan well. Some people aren't able to take information, turn it around into a finished product, and present it in a limited time frame. Some people need hours, days, months. Some people never do it. And I feel with Monet that she's one of those people that either is best off the fly, which means she's not prepping a lot, which means she's often just showing up, or she's somebody who's not really good with a time frame. Either way, I would just like to say I was so happy that she had big hair this week, even though she did whip it off and throw us another pussy wig. Is that right? It's more like a pussy toupee. And poor Monet, she really seemed to be in the dumps. I mean, here it is, another queen she's going to have to send home, which she did. I mean, it's one thing to be a lip sync assassin, but as we saw with Ben de la Creme, it can wear on people, especially when you're sending home people you know and like. I thought it was lovely to see the girls support Monet in her downtime, her time of sorrow. Because this is the thing I think that we had in season 9, but we had too much of it, which was love and support. I think a lot of people feel that season 9 was more of a kumbaya situation in the workroom, but we've been a little too far the other way. We swung completely out into the bears territory, where all the poking gets immediate reaction, regardless of whose feelings get hurt. So it was nice to see that kind of support. We saw it a bit last week, we saw it again this week. But then it was time for the inevitable sashaying of mayhem, bless her. I have to say, you know, I think she had the best attitude. She was very, very proud to be there, especially after it took her so long to get there. And I love that Blair brought up her attitude that one day where she said, this was a good day, I had a good day. Even though maybe not the best things happened, it was still a fun and productive day. And I think that if more people, not just drag queens, but just people in general, maybe you have a crappy job, maybe you ask people if you want fries with that, maybe you have to wear a hairnet and rubber gloves up to your elbows. I don't know what your deal is, and I'm not judging it. But every job is a job. You could probably have, to somebody's opinion, the best job in the world, still work some days. Some days are easier than others, and it's important to take those moments and enjoy the highlights. Seriously. So, there we have it. We're down to 9 girls. We still haven't had a snatch game yet. I'm so upset. Maybe in 2 episodes, because next episode, it's the DragCon panel challenge. And I have to say, I'm excited for this one because I think in a lot of cases, a lot of these girls that are competing on RuPaul's Drag Race forget that win, lose, or draw, they are going to have an existence outside of RuPaul's Drag Race. And that big one is definitely the New York and LA DragCons, both of which I've not been to yet. I have to go to the New York one because it's closer. But seriously, I'm broke. I have a feeling that some of the girls who are talkers and engaging, Eureka, Monet, Monique especially, I think they're going to do all right. I think Monet may turn it around this episode. I would like her to not be in the bottom 1 episode, because 2 in a row is never good. So, until next week, stay untucked, enjoy a bevy, and you come back and see me for the Fingerdoo review so you and I can compare notes. Till next time, miss me! Mwah! Seriously, Jorge, I'm starting to flake off into my toddy here, all this clay. Next time I think a cream mask might be better. I didn't say I want cream on my face instead of cream mask.